Welcome everyone to today's golf vlog where I'm playing the front nine at Royal Stouffville Golf Course in, well, you guessed it, Stouffville, Ontario. Today I'm playing from the Whites, which plays about 3,200 yards, and thank you to our newest subscriber, Brandon Corbett. Welcome to the channel, brother, and if you haven't already, please smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. Let's get into it. First shot here on the first hole, par 4, a tight one to be exact, and I end up pulling it a bit to the left. And I end up finding it here in the forest, but I punch it out and thankfully get it out of the woods and into play. Third shot here, 100 yards in, and I end up flying this one a bit further than I wanted to. I really got to start working on the 130 yards and in approach shots. So now we have a par chip downhill here. Bit of a slippery one. I actually thought I was going to run out more than that. And so now we have a bogey putt on the first hole. A bit of a caterpillar in the way or a leaf or something there. How to get that out of the way. I really should have reset after this. And end up missing that one. So +2 after the first hole. Not the greatest start, but hopefully we can turn it around. Par 5, pretty short one, 470 yards. And there is water right where you want to hit it. So I ended up using an iron, a 4-iron. Lay it up before that water and just try to make this a short 2 approach shot in. Second shot, 262 yards, using my 8-iron to try to get it up by the 110, 120 mark. Make a nice shot, a bit left, but still in play. I'm definitely in the rough here, so I end up shooting this one, and I hit it so chunky, and my toe ended up coming across the ball a little bit more than I wanted to. End up losing my ball there. It was terrible shot from there. And then I end up having to drop one, so we're shooting for 5, and now we're lying 6 up on the green. And this pin placement was not easy. I barely touched this ball, and it just kept going. Not fun to see this thing keep going and going and going. So now we have a uphill double bogey putt. And, of course, we missed that one. So now we leave the second hole here, par 5, +5. So off to the third, trying to erase the bad shots from my memory and make an okay shot here. A bit of the left-hand side again, but still in play. Still a pretty close little shot to the green here, only 160 yards, using my 8-iron. And I ended up blocking it a bit to the right, but thankfully just inside that trail to keep it into play. Not too happy with that, but I mean, what can you do? So now we have a chip here. Not much landing area. I actually hit it exactly where I wanted to, but the ball just took a terrible hop down that hill, and I'm actually just off the green on the fringe. So par putt here uphill, and thankfully we actually bury that one, which is a pleasant surprise. So we leave this hole scot-free. Fourth hole here, 344 yards, using my 4-iron. The wind is going right to left, thankfully, because my ball was fading at the start, and the wind ended up taking it a bit to the left. So now we're just off the fairway here in the rough. Going for my second shot in, 174 yards, using my 6-iron. And make an okay shot. A bit short and to the left, but I'll take it after the way I've been playing the last few holes. So now we have a uphill birdie putt here, probably about 25 feet, and come up short. The fringe really took out a lot of the speed out of my ball there, and then just a terrible putt. So we end up leaving this one with a bogey. So just a little knee knocker putt actually for bogey. Off to the fifth, trying to turn it around. Par 4, 344 yards. And I lose my ball. This has not been a great round for me. I'm not hitting the ball too well, so having to take a drop shot here and end up sailing this one beyond the green into the forest, having to drop another ball. So at this point, I'm just trying to mitigate any damage here, and thankfully make a nice little chip for bogey, and we run away with a double bogey. That was a gimme there. So par 3, 6th hole, using my pitching wedge 129 yards away. Currently +8, which is a disgusting score, but what can you do? I ended up making a decent shot, a bit further than I would have liked, but still a decent shot. So now we have a bit of a putt, hefty putt here for birdie, and misread it a bit. Clearly, I didn't see it that much of a slope as the ball ended up taking off. So par putt here, and thankfully we drained that one. So another par on the board, which isn't terrible. All right, so par 4, 440 yards, pretty decent size par 4 here. Used my 3-wood and had a nice little fade. Ended up getting beyond that tree, that big tree in the middle of the fairway there, and just into the rough. So now we're looking at a second shot into the green. And I absolutely striped this one. It actually goes long, hits the back of the mound, and ends up going just short of a road in behind here. So now I have to chip up. Don't have a clear shot, so I had to use a 6-iron here, and ended up coming up short. And as my 54-degree, pulled it a bit to the left, which I'm not too happy about, but it was pin high, so I will look at the bright side of things there. And we drain that 4 or 5 footer. So off to the next +9, 463 yards. Par 5, which is funny. So I ended up deciding to use my 4-iron, and I end up pushing it and fading it to the right beside a tree, so I couldn't get the camera directly behind me here. But I was able to take a full swing. So I used my 6-iron, took a nice stripe at it, and ended up being a pretty good line, but ended up being right below a tree up there. So for my next shot here, I had to kind of use my 6-iron to punch it through 89 yards away, and made a fabulous shot. I was really happy with this one. Gave myself a shot for an interesting look at birdie after all these interesting shots I've taken here. And so downhill, and honestly a horrible putt. The fact that I am this far away from the pin when only being that far away from the pin in the first place is just not acceptable in my eyes. And then we end up 3-putting there from there. So something that should have been a birdie turned into a bogey. So we're off to the next 9th hole, using my 3-wood, and thankfully we are in play. 103 yards in, using my pitching wedge in the rough here, and make a nice shot. Actually, we actually hit a green for once. Ended up being a bit longer than I wanted, but still run the green. Can't be complaining. A bit of a downhill putt here, left to right, and misread it again, similar to the par 3 a few holes ago where it was a big left to right, but we end up knocking this one in for a par, and we mitigated all of the losses there. So +10, final score 47. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We have lots more coming, so if you haven't already, subscribe and press like down below.